like people reacting to it.
Curious how I feel about Smite and the Smite 2 drama going on.
Smite 2 just got announced yesterday, and it's already causing quite the stir in their community. If you were to take what Twitter is saying literally, the game is already dead on arrival.
Oh, wow.
Which is
Well,
cringe.
that's kinda bad. They should just cancel it then.
So if you're not familiar with Smite,
So cringe.
person MOBA with a ton of different gods that you play as. I played it a little bit back in the day, and I actually enjoyed it, but there were just so many other games that I was playing at the time, I just never really invested a bunch of time into it. But the big controversy is that the vast majority of the skins that you purchased or earned in Smite 1 aren't being moved over to Smite 2. Now, Smite 1 initially released in 2014.
So that's what people are mad about? They're mad about skins?
Made on Unreal Engine 3.
He's like, wait, what?
Smite 2, which is set to go into alpha testing, I think in the summer of this year, was built from the ground up on Unreal Engine 5. On the frequently asked questions part of their website, the developers say that Smite 2 is a multi-generational leap from Smite 1 from UE3 to UE5. That means we have to completely rework or recreate every piece of content for it to function in Smite 2. There are currently over 1,600 skins in Smite.
I mean, most games do this. Like, the only reason CSGO didn't do this with CS2 is because, I mean, gambling on skins is, like, probably more popular than playing the game. So it's like, it would be better if they didn't port over the game and they ported over the skins.
Take note of this. Any comment you see on my YouTube videos about this, they're like CS2, Overwatch 2, and so they're like in COD, but COD doesn't do this. They're like, they all just transfer the skins over every game. CS had to. Their skins are worth real money, millions. Some of the, like, there are $1 million skins, so literally didn't have a choice. Overwatch is the same game. It doesn't matter if they ported everything over. It's the same exact game. It looks the same. The characters are the same. It's the same game. That's not what Smite's doing. People need to understand that. I know they can't process it. It's a lot of information. COD just started its port over skins. It's all the same engine now. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, for how many years were we rebuying, you know, new things, or, you know, were we spending money on their packs in like the first Warzone?
And it's like, yeah, it's CSGO 2, and there's just all new skins. There's nothing else is the same. And so, like, yeah, I get that.
Excluding mastery skins,
Call of
to
Duty
just port every skin to Smite 2 would take about 246 person-years of work.
That's a lot of
time.
time.
And we couldn't do both that and make Smite 2 as amazing as we knew it could be if we focused on starting anew. So to make this transition a little better,
I mean, are they wrong? Like, I don't think that they're wrong. Probably not. Yeah, I don't really think so.
Because they're not wrong.
Legacy gems,
and also I want to say too that it is disappointing that people don't have new their skins ported over. Like, it's definitely disappointing, and like PoE 2 did that, and so did Overwatch 2. So like, obviously it would be great if they were able to do this, but is this something that like you need to have, and like if you don't, the game is DOA? No, I don't think so.
No.
I'll also quote from the facts section. I want to make sure I get all of this right. For every gem that you've ever spent in Smite 1, free or purchased, you'll receive a legacy gem in Smite 2. What's
the popular place that everybody plays Smite on? Does it have its own launcher, or do people play it on Steam? People play it on Steam? Well, let's see how popular the game is.
Yeah, look at that. That's without console.
Okay, so like, I'm assuming whenever they announced Smite 2, it went up by a lot. So like, on average, they had like 12,000 people playing the game. It's big on Xbox. Yeah, it's not bad, but like, is it really a good use of their time to redo all of their skins for such a small player base?
Well, that's what people also, I don't know why people don't process this. When you do anything in life, if there's a transaction going on, you have to realize the other side needs to be making money for it to be worth their time. Just like it has to be worth your time to spend money on it. Like, this comes down to you're trading in a car or buying a car or buy anything like that. Like, the other side has to make money while you have to be happy. And it's like, people forget they're like, it's a video game, so the company doesn't matter. But if they weren't going to make money off this, they never would have made Smite 2, and then we all would have been sad for the next 10 years anyway.
Like, I don't know if that's a good decision. Like, that's like, for example, so like, in my mind, right? New World's probably about the same size of a game. and maybe a bit smaller, maybe a bit larger, depending, right? But somewhere around New World size. If New World made New World 2, would I be angry at them that they didn't port over all of the old skins? No. Do I think that they should invest that time and money into doing that? No. Seems like a waste.
Gems can be used to pay for 50% of the price of most in-game purchases in Smite 2. So things like skins, battle passes, and events in Smite 2 will be half off until you spend all of your legacy gems. And if you purchase a Smite Founders Pack, your legacy gems will be doubled. As Smite 2's currency is changing slightly from Smite, this ensures that you'll have the equivalent purchasing power. So you basically get a 50% discount on anything moving forward, based
which is
on
crazy. I don't think you understand how much money they're losing doing that just to make people stop crying, or like preemptively stop people from crying. That's a lot of money that they're like, all right, we'll just, you know, here you go, just to make you shut up.
Title, meaning every skin that you want to buy in Smite 2 will have a 50% discount. You still have to put more money into it, and this is what people are having a big problem with. Because your skins aren't transferring, people are freaking the fuck out, using comparisons to Overwatch and CS2 as reasons as
I mean, like, let's just be honest though. Like, Overwatch and CS2 have a development studio that is gigantic. Like, what are we talking about? Like, this is it's a dramatically different like scale. Like, you can't expect a small developer to be able to do that.
Why all of the skins that they paid for and the thousands of dollars spent.
Like, I bet if the developers of Smite could push a button and just be like, dude, all the skins are ported over, boom.
I never thought about this, but like, we are comparing Blizzard and Valve to Hi-Res. Meanwhile, everyone's talking about how Smite's dead, but they want them to do the same thing that Blizzard and Valve are doing. Like, what?
Do it?
Billion-dollar companies.
It's not like they aren't doing it because they don't want to do it.
For the last 10 years should be honored and moved forward into the new title. Their Twitter account has been spammed under every single post from gamers angry that their skins aren't being moved up 2 engine generations. This gamer here says, all I read is spend more money, we don't care about your old skins.
To be fair, this is literally a tweet with no likes, no retweets, and no comments that has 3 views.
LOL. The fact that we're supposed to just give up hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of skins, plus to be expected to keep paying.
The first thing he saw was, this is a tweet nobody saw.
Genuinely delusional. You ain't making more money from me when you won't.
Is this a free game? Yep.
Money. This gamer here, Big Dick Deviant, says,
I'm sorry to say, but like I think that they bring a good point in, but at the same time, there is a little bit of ridiculousness. Like, not respecting your money and you're buying skins in a video game. Like, I don't think that you're respecting your money either. Like, that's just my opinion, right? Like, I'm not saying that like they should just delete or take away all the skins, but like, do we really have to get that serious about it?
50% discount isn't enough for the thousands of dollars we spent on this game. Real WRU says you guys are criminals.
I'm gonna be honest.
For all this,
I think if we could see people's accounts that are tweeting, they haven't spent. These aren't people that spend thousands of dollars on the game. I truly believe that people have spent lots and lots of money on the game. They've spent it because they like the game, and then those same people are excited about Smite 2 and not upset about this, because nobody at Worlds was negative about this. Nobody. So your big spenders that care enough to go to the Worlds event, none of them were upset about it, who are the true people that definitely have spent thousands of dollars. I feel like these people have probably spent like $20 and are upset about it.
Skins that I have purchased. And Dexterol here says, honestly, I don't think I'm going to play Smite 2. I have over 1,300 skins, spent thousands. If they can't even...
I don't believe this at all. I wish we could look at this person's account. I don't believe this at all. Because if he has 1,300 skins, that means he was pretty much playing since the beginning. And I just highly doubt that.
Skins over, there's no point. They're not even giving you the gems to buy them back. They're basically giving you legacy gems to buy.
Are the big spenders usually casual players? No. The big spenders are usually the exact opposite. They're hardcore gamers who pay attention to all aspects of the game, are usually in different parts of the communities, whether it's in streams, YouTube, whatever. That's usually where your big people are. They never said anything about unbanning any accounts, so I have no idea.
Buy a skin for 50% off.
Yeah.
This user here just wants them to port all of the old models into Unreal Engine 5 without changing the graphics. The game will still function the same. You'll just see lower quality skins from UE3 and the new UE5 skins can coexist.
Okay, so the skins and like the character models are remade. They're not the same. So if you look like just at the faces and stuff on the characters, or like you guys can't see the Ymir, but like when you're looking at the actual character models, there is more detail. They're not the same. So you can't just port a skin and throw it on there or it wouldn't even work.
You have zero clue about anything you're talking about, but I'm really
well, and it's also like, yeah, I feel like it's probably not that simple. Number one. Number two, all of these people are looking at it from a perspective of a person who is a big fan of Smite, and they're actively playing Smite. So these solutions and these problems are from the mindset of a person who is super invested into it. They're like, they have $1,000 into it. Like, is it a good thing for new players whenever Smite 2 comes out that they log into the game, even theoretically, and they see a bunch of low poly models? No. I bet if people saw that, they would think, wow, this game looks really cheap. I don't think I want to spend money on it. So it's like, again, they're not looking at it from the perspective beyond their own.
Also, I gotta like mention this. If I go into a game, if I'm playing a new game and a bunch, like half the characters, heroes, gods, whatever, I'll have a skin. There's a good chance I buy all those skins. If I go into a new game and all of the heroes and gods have 40 skins, I might not even buy one on each of them. More than likely I won't. Where, like I said, the reverse, I'm going to buy them all, and then as new ones come out, I'm probably going to buy each one. So I'm always caught up and I don't miss out on anything. If I join in, there's a million skins, I've already missed out.
To what you guys think, because
that doesn't mean that they're wrong. Like, I don't think that they're wrong for being frustrated and disappointed, and I think that they're right. It does.
That was 12K concurrent players just on PC. From my knowledge, at one point, console Smite, that's Xbox and PlayStation put together, was 3 times bigger than PC. That was at one point in time. I'd assume safely, based on numbers, it's probably at the very least, it's 2 times bigger than PC. So you can assume the average concurrent is around 36,000 players. That's, you know, middle tier, not overestimating at all. With the announcement of Smite 2 and Worlds, where you saw the spike up to like 17.5, it's probably closer to 50K now.
That this is happening. But at the end of the day, I can see why they would do it.
I'm kind of sitting here and like, I can definitely understand the frustrations from gamers. Like, you spent a bunch of money on this game, a new one's coming out.
You spent a bunch of money on a free-to-play game.
Your skins like no longer transfer.
And look, I get being like disappointed that your skins aren't going through, but being mad and acting like the game's dead is cringe.
10 years on this channel, microtransactions are a money sink. Like, you don't buy microtransactions if you're not okay with
you don't own them. And that's a big thing that a lot of people need to understand whenever they purchase a microtransaction. Whenever you buy, let's say, the Celestial Steed in WoW, or like one of these cosmetics in Smite, you don't actually own that cosmetic. You only own a license that allows you to use the cosmetic that's given to you by the developer, that they can remove at any time for any reason.
The other thing is, these skins are entertainment or pleasure. Like the game is the game. These skins aren't changing the game. You're buying these things because you want want your game to look cooler or whatever. Like, you play the game enough that you're like, all right, I'd like this to look more cool, or this to be dope, right? So if this is a game that you love so much, how are you going to be like, man, this game's dead? There's no world where you want it to be dead. So why are you overreacting unless you don't actually have all these skins you're talking about?
You literally don't own anything. It's only one step above having an NFT.
is losing them when the next games come out. Now, I know a lot of people are making comparisons to Overwatch. Overwatch was literally regarded as like a 1.5. It was like people were pissed.
And that's also a very good point. Yeah, like why are you comparing to Overwatch 2 whenever Overwatch 2 was bad?
Also, let's just quick. Overwatch 2 was Overwatch 1 with one less character on each team. That was the big change. Nothing else. No visuals. Nothing. And on top of that, it was supposed to be a PvE game, which it didn't actually end up doing. So why is this in the conversation?
Basically felt like a DLC, right? The engine difference there is like negligible. The game is essentially running on the exact same engine. This is the first year that Modern Warfare allowed you to bring your skins forward, which was a cool thing, but Modern Warfare 3 has been destroyed in the online community for being a DLC and being not that much of an engine upgrade. So while they brought the skins over, the upgrade to it was negligible. This is taking models and skins and UVs and all of that from Unreal Engine 3, an engine that came out.
I think this guy's bringing up a really good point, and actually it illustrates a bigger delusion with people that think that Web3 is the future of development for video games and that you can own your skins and then use them in other games. Like, for example, people think that like, oh, well, you want to be able to own, you actually own the NFTs for these skins. Why would it be in the developer's best interest for them to program in functionality for skins in another video game? Why would they ever do that? Like, if you have Invincible in World of Warcraft, how exactly would you use that in Counter-Strike? Because that would require the developers at Valve to program in being able to use Invincible. They're completely incompatible.
Everyone's also shit on the idea of Web3.
Again, people always
truly taking over in video games.
It's the gun. It's like, oh, one gun to another gun. But that's just not the way these games work.
What,
Bro, Honor is jacked.
Years ago, upgrading to Unreal Engine 5, which I know would be a lot of work. On top of the fact that the game is now being built from scratch on Unreal Engine 5.
Brand new code, boys.
A fuckload of work to be able to make this happen. But the community is up in arms. So while I'm sitting here, like, I understand the frustration from gamers, but I also think, like, if you spent thousands of dollars in microtransactions in a video game, that's kind of on you, right?
It is.
But, like, I'm all for
it's definitely on you, and like you can't expect the entire
people were trying to shit on the UI. If you guys saw that on social media,
in a way
the UI is basically the same. I'll give it to you. It's a little bit more mobile game, but this is already what it looks like.
It's like saying in like a gacha game, well, I don't want to have them add in new characters.
Yeah, and it's this isn't even like alpha. This was what we showed you guys was the first iteration of the game. Like that version. That's why we couldn't record anything. They didn't even have it set up to record. That was the first truly fully playable map complete. Like, they told me a week before they were playing on a grid. Like, there were no rocks. It was just grid.
To what the potential of the game could ever be.
Pro-consumer practices. But this just feels a little strange to me that people who bought skins back in 2015 expect those skins to be ported over to a new game. Even if you bought skins.
Well, I think that, again, people just want that, right? I mean, it's not that even that they expect it, they just want it. Because some games have it, some games don't have it. Smite 1 will still be available even whenever Smite 2 is out. You can say it's selfish, but if there's enough customers that feel that, you don't have a fan base. Well, you also don't have a fan base if all you do is make things that reward people that are already customers. Because eventually those people will drop off naturally. I think retail...
Who would have thought bringing in new people to spend money is also valuable?
That was a great example of that.
Crazy.
So, like, if you only make content for people that are already playing your game, you never expand your sphere of influence beyond that.
Keep in mind, the people that are shitting on this are the same people that say dead game. So they don't want Hi-Rez to do something that makes the game lively again and bring in new players. They want it to stay the way it is, but they also think the game is dead. It just goes to show the intelligence level of the people that are, not all the people, a lot of people complaining.
You can still use them in Smite 1. You can still play them. You weren't scammed, but the calls that like Smite are criminals for
is crazy.
Let's take a look and see right now. Smite
Holy tabs, Asmon.
So we're gonna look at their last 3 tweets. There's this one, and then there's this one. And then there's this one. Okay, so let's look and see how many people are actually bringing it up. Smite 2 looks amazing. So these new skins will transfer. Is there no reason to buy a new skin if they aren't transferring? I mean, to be fair, like, this is a very fair question.
New skins
like,
are going
asking,
over.
Like, are the skins that you are advertising in this tweet going to transfer?
They
like,
transfer.
I'm not even going to count this one.
That's actually like a good question, because I thought the same thing. I'm like, so Hi-Rez is promoting skins that aren't going over, but they are going over. Why isn't there's nobody complaining here?
Okay, so it's like there's one guy who posted something that was problematic, and he was complaining. He's one guy. And then let's look at the second tweet. Year 11 drops next week. Are the avatar skins? I mean, this is a very fair question, right? Makes perfect sense. Why would you even play whenever you're going to lose everything in Smite 2? Okay, there's one person. Right?
Did they answer that question? Are like the big partnership skins going over? Because I feel like that's one thing they would prioritize because of their partnership with like that company, so they could do it again, like the avatar stuff. So I'm wondering, maybe, I guarantee you they won't mention that until they have new contracts. Because what they're probably doing is going to, is that Nickelodeon or whoever? And they're saying, hey, you know, we're making our new game. We made you all this money. We want to move your skins over. But also we need you to agree to like X amount of new skins. So I bet you that's why. That's probably something that won't even be like, locked in till the end of the year.
Advertising skins right now in Smite 1, and you're telling people that they're going to be gone in Smite 2. It seems very fair that people would bring that up. I think that's totally true.
What about skins gained from 1K donations and charity? I mean, realistically, you were donating to charity, and Hi-Rez just gave you something because you were donating to charity. Like, you didn't buy it. Like, even that's even less of a situation. You didn't buy those. That's like, yeah, good thing being good to charity.
Then there's this one here, quiet throwback throwdown.
So you write it off.
So this is like, there's nothing. I feel like this isn't so bad. Deep dive on some of the features. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people really aren't bringing this up as much as it might seem. What's the point whenever skins don't transfer? Was this the same guy?
It was it?
No, it's a different guy. Okay, so there's like this says like 4 likes. Check the Reddit. Let me see. I'll look at the Reddit.
The Reddit is a big complainer, babies, dude. So that's the one place you're definitely gonna see it.
Oh, about having, yeah, you can change the color. Yeah, that's probably true. Let me see the top for this month. Yeah, talking about skins, gameplay of Smite 2, it really matters. Possible Cupid remodel, clarification of skins. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is pretty contentious on Reddit.
Wait till you guys see Cupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of the top posts, and it has 500 comments. Yeah, okay, all right. There's enough people that are like that.
Yeah.
Rebuilding the game on a new engine and providing a free experience on a new engine.
The YouTube video Asmon is watching is the problem with YouTube. The title is misleading, making it seem like it's a big deal. You're correct about what it's doing, but if you don't have a title like this, people won't click on it because of the amount of content on YouTube. It's just like, if you post a video of like regular gameplay of something, you're just like, I use this weapon in COD, I got this many kills. Nobody will click on it. Like, it's not interesting. If I see something like this, I'm going to be interested in it. And I feel like he's kind of addressed right away. Like, the people that are mad are kind of trolling.
A sequel to bring new life to the game. And
first thing he sees is Weekend is a bitch. Imagine. Wait, what? Wait, what are you talking about, Semi? Wait, was that actually on there? Hold on, was that on there? Oh, you're saying if it was? I was about to say, what the fuck? What did I do?
It's just an overwhelming
that'd have been great.
Negativity because people.
Well, no, it's totally.
Like, I didn't even do anything recently.
Negative. They spend a lot of money and they really like the skins and they want to be able to use them in the new game.
Yeah, there is a high chance. You're right.
Thinking that or feeling that way.
Like, I didn't do
totally
anything.
True.
Who
it's just like they
money
can't do it.
And spent potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars on skins aren't going to have them in a sequel when they didn't even know a sequel existed at the time of purchase.
Also, I gotta mention something because I see his chat. You guys can't see it. They're talking about like PoE 2 and stuff. People come to me and they're like, "Weekend's a high res chill. He's on the payroll." I've never been paid for anything. I have been begging for a skin so I could have royalties because I think it would be like a life-changing amount of money, right? Like I actually, if they did that for any content creator, I think it would be a life-changing amount of money. People keep mentioning like PoE 2 and COD. All the games I play, I buy all the skins. I played Valorant for like a month total, and I have like $3,000 in skins. PoE, PoE skins are beyond like. PoE skins are so expensive that if they didn't transfer them over, they would have actually lost a massive amount of fucking players. I don't even touch PoE anymore. I have thousands of dollars in PoE skins. I never expect those games to transfer over skins. Games I'm not like a content creator on. I would not have been mad if they didn't transfer them over. I don't expect it. So I have the same mindset with Smite, despite Smite being like my game. Okay. That's what a lot of these potatoes don't understand. PoE is Path of Exile. It's like Diablo's competitor, but better than Diablo. Like immensely better than Diablo.
The gamers here, but it's weird because
I think that it would be really nice if the Smite 2 developers said like, hey, you know, like over time we're gonna add some more of the Smite 1 skins in. Like not all of them, but like maybe a few every year, or maybe like 5 every year for each champion. That'd be nice if they could do that. Maybe a bit of a compromise because a lot of people did invest. Because at the end of the day,
they have also said, if I'm not mistaken, you guys correct me, that legacy gems for legacy skins they poured over, you'll be able to buy 100%, right? Like you'll be able to use legacy gems to fully buy a legacy skin, and they will be adding legacy skins consistently throughout the year. So that's the other thing that I've responded like a million comments on. They should just do. They've already said they're doing this. It's already happening.
They did
so
say that?
So if you bought the skin in Smite 1, you will be able to buy it again in Smite 2 for free. You just have to wait.
They are every week. They did.
Out of curiosity, how do you know about what Hires is planning if you don't work for them? Do they share spoilers? So there's testing, there's feedback, there's opinions, all that stuff. They go to content creators, they go to pros, they go to anyone who play the game regularly to get, you know, thoughts. Everyone's under NDAs. So like I have access to like different people, different Discords, all kinds of stuff where I can see this stuff early if I want to. A lot of the time I don't look at it unless somebody tells me, hey, can you come check this out? Like they have meetings regularly, like once a week. I only go if Isaiah says, hey, we're doing this. Will you check it out? Yeah, I don't get paid to do that. That's why I don't go, because it'll be like 3 hours and I'll be there for like an hour and then leave. And I only go to like one or two a year. And it's only when they're like, hey, we're running this in 10 minutes. If you could jump in here, that would be awesome. You can ask the people that go, that's the only time I play test, only that shit. Yeah, I'm such a chill. I'll literally open it up and sometimes be like, I kind of want to record this and go like chill, because I ain't getting paid for that.
Did? Oh, well. What the fuck? Well, then why are people getting mad? Like,
so he's wondering why people are mad when they are going to get the skins for free whenever they port it.
So if that's happening, then
you do it in person? No. It's usually Discord stuff.
Say in the Reddit post
or like Google Meets and stuff like that.
You said most things are going to be on. How'd you choose the divine skin?
Bro, also, if you know me at all, the shit that I've said and brought up publicly should very obviously point out that I don't get paid. Let's not forget when I went at them for their fucking 24/7 channel, and that being a problem on top of not even paying the streamers enough money. Think if I got paid, I'm doing that shit?
Yeah, obviously, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so...
Yeah, he's like 50 tabs
open. They
open.
didn't say anything about that in at least the infographic that they made. This game microtransaction system doesn't make sense if the game isn't meant to be continued and suddenly gets a sequel after a few years. I mean, after a few years, though, right? I mean, Smite's been out for 9 years, hasn't it?
More.
I mean, it's been a really long time that Smite's been out. I think
it's like 12 years of beta plus launch.
Like, it's not like they're replacing it. It's not like they're pulling a Call of Duty, right? And they're just making a new one every year.
On top of just seeing random gamer faces bitch about this.
Because, like, you got to keep in mind, like, the other thing I was going to bring up is, like, the reason why they're able to make Smite 2 is because of the people that bought the microtransactions in Smite 1. That's where they got the money. So, like, being able to add in some of those skins.
Since he's talking about that, these other shittier MOBAs have been trying to poach devs from Hi-Rez, by the way. So if Hi-Rez didn't do this, also didn't make it so they could make money and pay these devs more money, they would have lost most of their talent. And then we'd all be playing a horrible game, and none of us want to go play Predecessor or Paragon because they're just not that good. I'm sorry. Their Predecessor is a horrendous gameplay game. It is not fun at all. And Paragon's just not going to last. It's a terrible dev company.
For time is very reasonable. Like, I think it's very fair for them to say we can't port them all over, but we'll port over some of the ones that people really like, and then we'll give you a discount on the other ones.
We'd be playing League.
That's very fair.
I'm also seeing guys that I respect in the space, guys like Kira, talk about, you know, fuck this company, Smite about to make crypto bros feel vindicated.
Who is this? Hold on, who the fuck is this? Just pulling up people I've never heard of before. You have 4,000 followers on Twitter. what am I worried? Why are you showing me this?
I don't know if the commentary even works either, because if all the skins were NFT,
I don't even care. He's big on like YouTube or something. I don't even care, bro. That was a Twitter post, and we just acted like he was reaching a ton of people.
The new game, because
that's what people don't understand. Yeah, just because you have an NFT doesn't mean you can just like flawlessly port over some NFT from one game to another game. What about if the game is made in Unreal, and then the other one was made in some proprietary engine? Like, how could you do that?
There's 500,000 on YouTube. I have like 250K on YouTube. It literally means nothing. Nothing at all.
Wouldn't even fit together.
To still do that work to make them function on the models regardless. Like this, I don't think this makes crypto bros feel vindicated. I'm also just wondering why people are as outraged as they are. Like, you bought skins in a game that still exists. A new game is coming out and you just expect them to put all that work into transferring all of those skins over. That hasn't been the standard for a long time. Like, you can look at Overwatch 2 and Modern Warfare 3 and hell, even CS2.
It might not be a standard, but it's an ideal. I think it's very fair for people to not be happy that it's not happening. Like,
what's more cringe to me is some of these people making opinions without all the info. Where like Asmongold, like even the start of this video, Asmon was like, oh yeah, they probably shouldn't make the game then. But he was kind of just speaking based on what he was told, which is what most of these people tweeting are probably doing. And then the deeper he gets into this, he's like, why are people complaining?
Done it. FIFA every year doesn't take anything that you purchase over. Like, that's not the standard. We've known this for years. And the thing is games like FIFA.
And I also think that you should not ever buy a skin expecting for the game to exist in perpetuity. It is a very unhealthy.
What's funnier too is people probably think this is a bad thing for Smite, but this is like top 2 to 3 press like reaches, like in terms of something they've done or made and the reach it's gotten. This has got to be, it's probably number 1. I'm just gonna safely say like top 1, 2, or 3. And it's not bad to have people looking at your game when nobody's really talked about it for years.
Mindset, and I think it's stupid.
Fucking Call of Duty and Madden, they're a yearly release. Smite has been going on for 10 years. So you expect 10 years of work on skins to be ported over to the new game,
which is insane to even process.
No way.
and usually when I
10 years of a game being made, you want it all to just keep going.
A lot of these companies are scummy companies. They're greedy companies. But I'm trying to figure out where Smite went wrong here. Like, maybe they didn't need to make a sequel, but like the way I see it is maybe they realized that, like, you know, 10-year-old code, potentially longer.
Also, this wasn't a shock, by the way. When they told us about this and what was happening, I don't know if everyone else did, but I told them, I was like, look, you're doing your best here with like this 50% skin thing and everything is their gem thing is dope. Transferring gems over, that's insane. Didn't even expect you to do that. People are still gonna be mad, and they're like, we know. And I'm like, that's good. I was like, just be open about why. The same thing you told me, you need to tell them that. And then that, like, that's the best you can do. And they were like, all right. And that's what they've done. They've done everything right that they could.
Hold up for what they want to do. They make a new game from.
Here's the problem with Smite. This looks like garbage.
I need them to elaborate here.
That's the problem. It's just like WoW. And what would I say about WoW? It looks like it came out in 2015. It's outdated.
So he's saying the problem with current Smite is it's old and doesn't look updated. So he's saying the game should be updated. We should have a Smite 2.
I mean, like, of course they want to update the graphics, because the problem is, like, Smite, like, there are games, like, at a certain point, you reach the saturation point where everybody knows about this game and people have just chosen not to play it. And the next chance
I've been saying that
to, like, really expand that user base,
I've been saying it.
The next game.
Everyone knows about the game.
I think that's why
I have people from the weirdest genres ever who are like, yeah, I used to watch your stream. I played against you. And I'm like, you played Smite 8 years ago? Like, what the fuck? Like, you know who I am? Whose gameplay is this? And I don't even want to know.
Reason.
Double chalice. It's a jouster, dude.
Scratch. They also offer you 50% discounts because you.
Like, I mean, because you can look. By the way, you can look at the game. Look at the game. Since 2020, which, to be fair, it's grown a lot. But, like, it was doing pretty well. This is in 3 years. Like, it's doing.
That was peak COVID, though, right?
It has in like 3 years.
Peak COVID wasn't real.
Up a lot recently because of
every motherfucker bought a computer and was playing video games.
You know,
every motherfucker peak COVID spent $2K on a computer, realized they had no money left, and looked for the first free-to-play game they could find. It was Smite.
The game, but like, yeah, that's also COVID, right? So, I mean, it's not like the game is doing amazing. And it is still going down from 2023 to 2024.
Hey, that was me.
Down aside from this one, like, big update. So I can see, like, you know, they're looking
right here, Your Honor.
Thinking, wow, our game is dying. It's slowly dying. Yeah, it is. It's slowly dying.
Before, I'm trying to figure out where they're.
I hate the idea. Like, you're not wrong saying something's slowly dying, but like, every company can't always be growing. Like, yes, a company could fall slowly disappear, but most companies are always slowly going down, and then something happens or changes, and then they go on a crazy growth pattern, and then it goes back to slowly dying. It's called innovating. Every company has to innovate to stay alive. You get taught that Business 101. So, like, you're not wrong saying something's dying, but it's a little exaggerated when you know any company's going to die if they don't innovate.
Reed is coming from a game that they supported. Again, it's a free game for 10 years. Yeah, they have microtransactions for sure, but those microtransactions are all just cosmetic skins. And like, if you feel like you've been robbed of your thousands of dollars that you spent, even though you're using the skins in the game.
Smite skins aren't even that expensive.
Like,
I'm gonna be real with you.
If Smite 2 just like never existed,
like Valorant skins are crazy expensive.
Skins, like, yeah, you'd have a problem. But this is a sequel. Like, you bought skins for Smite 1, a game that's been in development and like supported for 10 years. Like, to me, it would be like if I bought a skin in Rainbow Six Siege for $1. And all of a sudden, Rainbow Six Siege 2 gets announced 3 years from now, and I just expect all of those skins to transfer over. Like, no, this is the standard. This is what we've been talking about for years. This is why microtransactions and buying microtransactions is a waste of money.
Thank you.
I'm just like, yeah, it sucks, but like also you knew the assignment.
We all understand that it is a waste of money, right? Like, in terms of like whether you're gonna gain something, you know, permanently from this. It's a short-term entertainment, you know, spike. Maybe you're happier for a couple days. We all know that. Like, it's the same thing as anything you're spending money on that for. Like, people, you know, wrap their cars and spend thousands of dollars on that. That's, you know, technically a waste of money.
Here, you know what the fuck this is.
That's the thing.
It's just a pleasure thing,
like,
bro.
What do you like? You thought you were buying stocks? What is this?
Me, it feels like I'm just seeing a lot of entitlement online.
Same with my Supercar, I guess.
Like,
exactly.
Negativity about this game release, and even though I have no skin in the game, as like I'm not a Smite player, I don't play it consistently. I'm just curious as to why there's such outrage here when the standard in the gaming industry is that you release a game every year and your skins from last year don't transfer. Why is this game getting so much heat when they have supported it for 10 years? It just feels strange to me. And maybe that 10 year is like that sunken cost. Like
because people have invested.
I feel like Hi-Rez has been really good.
Skins and they want to keep the skins. Like,
Hi-Rez has been really good overall to the community. Like, been crazy consistent with everything, content, updates, mostly being, you know, very open with things that are happening. I do not, Udix.
It might not really be all that serious. It's just that they want to keep the skins. That's it.
Realize how much you've spent on it, and like it just sucks that shit. Like, did you think the game was going to be around forever? Like, what would happen if Smite, instead of announcing a sequel, just announced that they were shutting down? Would people be asking for refunds?
That's true.
That would be pretty cringe.
It's a weird conversation, but now I'm curious to see if the community is actually.
I'm glad that, like, now, because, you know, microtransactions have been the norm for about 15 years now. Like, where we've had microtransactions in a lot of games and people are kind of like acclimated to it in the last 10 years. And I'm glad to see that, like, there are certain games that are.
Only thing you don't like that they've done the last couple of years is recoloring skins, releasing them full price. Well, skins are tiered, like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. Sure, recolors are tier 2s. So it's like, you know, it's a recolor and you're choosing to buy them. Like, come on. Like, it's like, how are you mad about them putting something in the game and somebody decides to buy it?
Going end of service. They are, you know, making a sequel that doesn't port everything over. And I think this is really good because what it does is it gives people a sense of awareness of like, hey, by the way, idiot, this is what you're buying is just transient fucking pixels that you don't even own. And I think that it's a good thing as like a reality check for these people.
Going to support it come launch, or if they're just going to stay on Smite 1 and just let the sequel die. I don't know. It's a weird conversation, and I feel like this is one of those.
I think people just wanted to be mad. Like, they haven't been mad about something in a while, so they just want to be mad.
On the side of the gamer, I totally understand where they're coming from. I think that it's super disappointing that they're not going to have the skins, and it sucks. But I can also see why the developer does it, and I totally understand that too.
I value the new game that's better over the skins. That's why I'm like, suck it up. So what he's saying, I also agree with. I get somebody being upset that they're not going to have their fucking Loki skin in Smite 2. I get it. But I care about the new game so much more than the skins. It's hard for me to put a lot of energy into, you know, caring.
There is no right option here that makes both parties happy, that doesn't cost either a tremendous amount of disappointment or a tremendous amount of time. It just sucks. It's sad. And I think that Smite 2 saying, hey, you know, apparently they said that we're going to add in some of the new skins over time after release of Smite 2. I think that is like such a great compromise. That is such a great compromise. And I mean, realistically, for a live service game like this, you couldn't ask for more. I think this is very fair.
That's what I said. It's more than fair. Them giving you 50% of your gems back or 100% of your gems back is crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
I feel like they did everything as right as they could outside of spending all of that time and resources porting all of your skins over, which if I was in their position, I don't think I would do either. Anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. This is a conversation that has been stirred up.
I would do what they did.
I'm not gonna lie. If you even pretend to like process it, the amount of money by deciding they would give you gems and like let you spend them on new skins, like give you your old gems back and let you spend them on new skins, the amount, the hundreds of high res, I'm pretty sure in revenue, so not profit, in revenue is like a $200 million company a year in revenue. I'm pretty sure they put all of that back into all these other games they built and everything else. But over 10 years, we're talking $1 billion. Like they're losing a lot of money doing this. A lot of money. A lot.
I would add in some of the really popular ones, like obviously because like they have graphics and like you know, data on like which skins are being used the most, right? And so I would just take the top 50 of each character or the top 20 of each character and port all of those over, and then say, hey, if there was another one that you guys really like, you know, let us know, and maybe we'll do it after release. Like that's probably what I would do. Top
my
5
timeline, so I wanted to talk about it,
right?
Because hey, there's nothing going on in the FPS space right now. I'm still playing games like the Finals and Rainbow Six and Call of Duty, but I'm not really a gameplay channel, so I don't put just like raw gameplays up and talk over it and stuff like that. And there's really nothing else I want to talk about in the FPS space until we hear news about games like Gray Zone or Pioneer.
That's one thing that's exciting. I talked about how this is a really good timing for Smite 2. Every new game that comes out messes up. The Finals has killed it. It's not dead, but it's killed itself. It could have been one of the biggest games ever, and it's killed itself. A bunch of games have done that, right? Like over the past 5 years. It's hard to rely on any new competitive multiplayer game of any genre. But Smite is going to be the same core game with just everything better at a time when all these new games are failing and, you know, games that have been around for a while are the meta. It could be a very, very good thing for the game in terms of growth. Could be a massive thing for the game.
So I saw this, I was like, you know what? Microtransactions.
It should be, but can't guarantee anything.
Discussion in this community for a while, and I'm curious to know what my community thinks. My name is Big Fry. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you on the next one.
Oh, Big Fry's in chat. There it is. He says, yeah, every time people are telling you that I was watching.
That's funny that the guy joined his thing.